Greetings, everyone. I usually start a video. What am I doing? What's going on, everybody? It's time for Lucha Underground, the review. Just gonna talk about Lucha Underground. Lucha Underground tonight was really, and it's actually something you don't say for a match that only had, or a show that only had one. Show tonight only had one match. That is true. Just one match tonight, and it lasted what they would say all night. What they said tonight, Lucha Underground, which is a great tagline to this match. Um, Back to last week, but I did go back and watch last week to kind of catch myself up. And Drago is the current #1 contender. That was the main thing from last week's four-way match. That the more contender for either Prince Puma or Johnny Mundo, depending on who wins tonight. So here is first off, Drago is and I was thinking, well, he'll be good for anybody, whichever person. Well, we had only one match, so let's jump right into it and talk about it. This match was a match that lasted all night long because simply because it was what they would call an ironman match. It was documented as being 60 minutes, but I would say it was 40 to 45, depending on TV. Lucha Underground tonight did a really good job of making sure that the time only ran when you were on TV. There was no constant time reminder or anything like that. It was like day or the entire show, so you didn't necessarily know where it was, where it was. Even you didn't really know where it was. So from what I noticed, it seemed like because the time started so minutes when they first showed us the time, it was down to about 38 or something like that. So I was thinking, um, obviously they're just doing it for the period of time that they're on TV, which is a good way to do it, especially for an Iron Man match. Which is something we haven't seen a lot of. I feel like an Iron Man match really, especially for that long, to be entire, the entire duration of the show, has to give you a lot of trust. You have to have a lot of trust on Puma, who is also known as Ricochet, and Johnny Mundo, who was also in his WWE days known as Johnny Nitro and John Morrison. So two guys we know they're talented. Ricochet from PWG. If anybody watches PWG, definitely a talented guy, and you can obviously see it from his matches in Lucha Underground. And then Johnny Mundo, obviously, has always been really good. So let's start Johnny Mundo versus Prince Puma all night long for the Lucha Underground title. I don't even think they call it the heavyweight title, which I like. I actually like they don't call it the heavyweight title. Don't limit on who can win it. So I think that's cool. So we get that kind of wearing down style early, which makes sense. It's an Ironman match. It's a match where you got to get the most amount of falls. If you're not, if you don't know what about an Ironman match, because we haven't had one in a while in wrestling, it's a match where whoever has the most falls after the end of the time limit at this point at the end of the show would win the match. So that was kind of cool. So you got to start that wear down style. You got to wear down your opponent. So it's gonna start a little bit slow because you got a long time to go in the match. So, but the match does get going. A nice corkscrew dive here. And Puma does end up getting the first fall with a nice roll up. It wasn't like your typical roll up. He kind of had a nice little rolling transition into it, which was nice. Then Mundo goes for the end of the world, but that's reversed. But then he ends up getting the nice leverage and using the ropes for the 1-1 tie here. So we're tied 1-1 so far already in this match. Get the beautiful Hurricane Rana from the apron by Prince Puma. Prince Puma is just so talented. You can tell if you've never seen him wrestle before. Any match you see of him, you're probably going to be impressed. And I haven't seen any full match PWG, but I've seen some highlights, and I was impressed when I saw the highlights as well. But then we get there were some weapon sightings here because this is no disqualification, no countouts, nothing like that. So we got, a this like box. It was more like it was built like a crate. It wasn't like built like one of those cardboard boxes. It was more so built like a crate, I would say, more so than anything, or built more like wood. You know what I mean? So we get a nice cradle shock on Mundo. I don't know what the cradle shock is. Chris Saban's old move, the cradle shock. He probably still uses it. But the cradle shock through that box on Mundo. He's outside of the ring, so he can't get the pin in this match. The rules were that you had to pin inside of the ring. Um, Mundo with a crowbar shot to the head of Puma, and I was like, ow. He rolls him back in the ring, gets that second fall here. So 1-2 Johnny Mundo. Um, then we get the Moonlight Drive for another fall on Prince Puma. You can see Prince Puma's kind of getting worn down at this point for the 1-3 advantage here. And it's getting away from him here. Then we get the springboard round kick and the end of the world going on to Starship Pain on for another fall. So it's 1-4 at this point. Time is ticking. Time is ticking. Puma, he's got to find some way to come back. You would think, if he's gonna he's got to get some falls. Puma trying to come back here because he understands that. He understands I gotta go. But he's then hit with the apron neck breaker, which looked like it hurt pretty bad. We get a ladder and a table sighting here next. So we know it's got to be used. It's one of those things where if you see it, it's got to be used, right? Super kick on Puma as he falls all the way to the floor. They were fighting from up above. Obviously in Lucha Underground, the stands kind of go up like a basketball stadium a little bit. So they're fighting up on Puma gets super kicked and falls all the way to the floor. He's down for a nice little bit. Mundo trying to run the clock out here, basically taking a knee on it. Like I said, love that reference to football there. He's hit with a board and a guitar. He's trying to still run out the clock. He's telling the band song. They got their own band in Lucha Underground, so he's telling the band, go ahead and play me a song. We're gonna chill out just a little bit. So so he's just chilling out with a board and then the guitar, and that basically busts Mundo open. Puma spears Mundo off of the balcony through 4 tables, and then eventually, through the will and determination of Prince Puma, he pulls his body back to the ring, gets the pinfall. It's noted, I think at this point we were down to about probably 20 to 15 minutes at this point, so not much time left. We get the round kick, the kind of German lifting round kick by Prince Puma, and then I don't even know. I'm not sure what his moves are called yet, so I'm kind of referencing other moves that I know it by. Tombstone, which looks ridiculous, by Prince Puma. For another fall, it's now 3-4. Mundo understands, hey, this is getting away. Got the momentum here. Mundo starts to run away. But he finally gets him back in. He tries to go for the Phoenix. Mundo then retreats once again. He gets to the top of the temple. They have the steps, which is basically the ramp for Lucha Underground. The steps. He gets to the top of the temple. He's running the clock out. It's like, what's gonna stop him? Obviously Puma, he's far away. He's far enough away now where it's gonna be hard to catch him. So who else comes out but El Patron, Alberto El Patron himself, who attacks Mundo at the top, down the stairs and back to the ring. Gradually down the stairs, not all the way down the stairs. Might not survive. But yeah, El Patron, if you don't know, El Patron and Mundo, obviously they have their issues from last week and a couple of weeks ago where they've been feuding a little bit. And Mundo, when he wanted to become the selfish Johnny Mundo that he has become, we have seen he through Cueto's his glass window, so he was busted open from that last week. So that's why El Patron revenge, and he says to Mundo, he says it's not over between us, and he says to Puma, if you win tonight, give me a call. Basically he's like, if you win tonight, I want to, I'm gonna let you know I'm coming. So we get the 450 splash by Prince Puma here. Yeah, 450 splash by Prince Puma. Forgetting my words here. 450 splash by Prince Puma. 4-4. It's all tied up. And then we kind of get that standoff. We get that standoff between Mundo and Prince Puma. The roll ups by both for a near fall. We get the big by Mundo for two. Nice big running knee there. The catching flip bottom by Mundo for two. Mundo looks to go for a hurricane run in the corner. He kind of bounces off and falls to the ground. We get the 630 senton by Prince Puma for the win. So Prince Puma is still your Lucha Underground champion, which is great. I'm so excited. I love Prince Puma. I'm interested to see who's going to take it from him. I don't know if Drago's going to do it. Prince Puma is one of those guys. Gets you excited. You watch him in matches, and you're like, this guy's impressive. I feel like that personally. I have never really seen much of him before Underground, so I'm glad Lucha Underground decided to sign him because I was like, this guy's really impressive. But guys, for the video, for you guys, if you don't mind answering a question here, who's your favorite Lucha Underground superstar? I think mine would have to be Prince Puma. I do like Johnny Mundo because I've always Mundo, but I would say Prince Puma. He's just so impressive in so many different ways. If I was thinking right now about every Lucha Underground star, I could probably think of maybe some more I could name off, but those two right now obviously are two of the best in Lucha Underground right now. If you have one, feel free to leave your comment. I'm respond to it / be like, yeah, I like him. No, get out of here. I don't like him. So I'll make sure I tell you guys if you can, feel free to subscribe if you want any content, WWE content, wrestling, wrestling, wrestling content. Feel free to go ahead and subscribe, and I will see you guys later. Follow me on Twitter. Follow the podcast on Twitter. However you want to do it. See you guys later. Hope you guys enjoyed.